Thank you. Thanks for dropping me off. Anita is now going to Sequoia National Park. She very nicely drove like 5 hours or something from Las Vegas just so she could come and stay with me before I continued on at the Sierras. So there she is going. So finally it's the end of the goddamn desert, I think, although it's still a little bit deserty. But yeah, it's always hard leaving her because it just seems so dumb. Like, why am I walking by myself for another 8 or 10 days or something with a ridiculous pack of food? And I've got a bear barrel in here now, which is another kilo, and I don't have to carry much water in this section because there's so many river crossings and streams, so it's probably about 11 kilos. Anyway, I'll get walking and I'll video a bit more from later. Up. Good morning again. Hello. This is already so much prettier being out of the desert because, if you can see down there, there's a beautiful little river that I am following along next to. And it's a real blessing because I'm carrying 9 days worth of food, so it's and the bear barrel weight. So I do think my pack is around 11 kilos, possibly even slightly more. I think it's around 11. So that's the most I've carried yet. I'm not carrying my microspikes and ice axe because, from all reports, from here to Bishop, where I'm walking to in the next 8 to 9 days, it doesn't have any issues with snow. So, well, there's bits of snow, but nothing that's a problem for, for getting past with just shoes and hiking poles. Yeah, so that should be really nice. I am going from, I think, around 2,000 meters, I think today, up to over 3,000, and then ultimately to 4,500 Mount Whitney is. I have enough food, I think, for kind of 8 full days. Then I am walking out on the 9th day to a road. So hopefully there's enough food. If for some reason I find that I'm just churning through the food because the altitude makes it so much harder, then I can always skip Whitney. It's the highest peak in America, or in the main continent of America. It is a whole day out and back. It's like a 26 kilometer, 1,000 meter elevation climb to do the highest summit on continental America, they call it. So there's probably a higher one in Hawaii, I guess, or Alaska. I guess Denali is probably higher in Alaska. But anyway, hopefully I have enough food and I don't have to carry any water, which is really nice. And I don't have the full-on winter gear. I've got Anita's Thermarest now because mine's been having some problems. It's holding air okay, but the baffles are starting to delaminate, which is a warrantyable thing, but I think I mentioned in a few videos ago the import, or the people who run Thermarest in America are something like 10 months behind on warranty assessment, which is fabulous. And they have no stock of that mattress anyway. But mostly I'm carrying hers because it's twice as warm as mine. Mine's the lightest Thermarest Uberlight. Hers is the X-Lite that everyone uses, the yellow one. That's the R rating, which is the warmth rating, is literally double. And it's going to get quite cold up at that altitude. It'll be the highest altitude I've been to on this trip so far, and certainly the highest I've camped at. So I'm hoping I'm not too cold. I'm a bit of a cold sleeper. Apparently I've acclimatized really well to Brisbane in Australia, where it's a very warm climate, kind of like Miami, I guess, if you're American and watching this. So we'll see. It's going to be nice to have that extra warmth from the Thermarest. But my quilt isn't crazy warm. It's a 20F of 20 Fahrenheit, which is about -5 or something Celsius. I'll just rug up with all my clothes. I've got a full synthetic down suit, gloves and all. Didn't get the booties, but also I'm not bringing my waterproof socks, which I haven't really used yet, other than in the tent. Hey, squirrel! Other than in the tent at night for warmth. So maybe it was a dumb idea not to take those, but that's more weight, you know. It's another 90 grams or something for the socks. I don't know if you can see the creek down there. Very cute. I might go through what I'm carrying in my pack, including the bear barrel. It's still a pretty small looking backpack, which is good. I went for the slightly smaller bear barrel. It's called the Bear Vault 450, if you want to Google it. It actually fits sideways in my pack, so a lot of people strap them onto the top of their pack because they have such small packs for the rest of the hike. But I think you've got to carry the bear barrel for something like 1,500 kilometers from now. So basically I'm going to be stuck with this extra kilo of weight. I wanted it to be able to fit into my pack. I hate crap flapping around on the back of my pack, and I see people coming through with nice small packs. I'm going to switch hands again. But then they've got, you know, a bunch of stuff strapped to the outside, which seems to me to be a bit ridiculous. You want to have everything on the inside of your pack so it doesn't fall off and get damaged. So my pack is a 60 litre technically. It's really a 47, but they include the outside mesh pocket and the water bottle pockets in the volume. So 47 with a bear barrel inside, 3-man tent, my quilt and my clothing. It's pretty full at the moment, but it's still not above my shoulder. I haven't even gone into the extra throat, they call it. The roll top section can make the pack quite a bit bigger if you don't roll it up as much. And that's just the roll tops underneath that bit of foam pad you see. The foam pad I just use to protect my Thermarest and add a little bit of warmth. And it's a really good sit pad for when you stop. Anyway, I'll stop babbling. I'm really happy that it's so much prettier here, if you can see all that. It's just such a relief to be out of the desert. Trails coming from that way. Just thought I'd show you this really pretty bridge. And I think I'm going to filter some more water. I'm just carrying about half a litre at a time because I'm lazy, and I'm walking along this creek for a lot of the time today. Pretty much this whole 9-day hike, I believe, has good water. So that's really lovely. I'm going to just drop down there and grab a bit of water and keep going. Okay, well, I've just come up about 600 vertical meters, and coming out of the woods back there and heading into this open plain down to that water. It's my next water source, and then I'm assuming probably up the other side there. Hi, I'm at about the 28 kilometer mark. It's been hard. I'll show you where I am while I talk, but the altitude is it's kicking my ass, plus having that 12 days off, I think, 11 or 12 days off with Anita kind of knocked me back fitness-wise, but hoping to do 2 more kilometers up into that hopefully sheltered little saddle, because it's quite windy up here. Even though it's very sunny, it's windy and probably going to get cold tonight. So I'll try to make it to there and maybe show you the campsite later. But otherwise, it's a very beautiful view. My shoulders are pretty sore from the backpack as I've got now the 11 kilos of food and base weight plus I think 2.5, 3 kilos of water. So this is now the heaviest I've been. At the highest I think I've been, and this hike for this 8-day section is the highest, longest and hardest section I'll have done with the heaviest food carry. So it's all kind of culminating, all of the desert with this, and I took 2 weeks off to decondition right before it. But anyway, chat to you in a bit. Hello. So the spot I'm in right now is very close to where I'm going to camp, but there have been very recent reports of bear sightings, like days ago. So I'm going to cook my meal here, and then that is my bear barrel full of food. Plus I've got a separate little smaller stuff sack full of food that I'm going to have to hang off a tree a certain distance away from the tent so that there's no scent of food around me or the tent. The safest way to do that from what I used to do in Alaska when I had to hike with a bear barrel is just cook somewhere before you end up camping, and then there's no scent near where you are. So I'll probably store the stove and everything with the bear barrel. You generally put it in like a depression in some rocks so the bear can't wrestle it and roll it down a hill, and then you lose all your food. So I'll pack up again. Oh, sorry, that's the other food bag I have. That'll get hung from a tree. No wonder I couldn't find it in my pack. I will cook here, eat here, and then probably do another kilometer or so. That's well far enough to get away from the scent, but I just want to do a little bit more distance today. I'm really tired. My left shoulder is very sore. I did a couple of sessions of gym at one of the hotels in Las Vegas, and I think I'm getting that delayed onset muscle soreness that you get when you haven't done gym for a while. For me, it's like since I left Australia about 6 weeks ago, and I just, of course, tried to smash myself, so to slow down my muscle atrophy over the next 6 months. I'll try and do that whenever I can, but the reality is once you're on trail, it's just exhausting, and you don't really want to do push-ups and chin-ups and rocks to do shoulder press when you're exhausted. Now that I have to carry this bear barrel, that's how big it is. I have to carry that for the next month or so. It might be even harder to do any sort of weights, but doesn't really matter. So yeah, I'll eat and then move on and maybe show you the campsite if it's nice later on. Okay, this is my setup for tonight. It's in a pretty good area. There's a bunch of people over here and over here. But I've set up my bear barrel just over here. And also hung my food. I don't know if you can see that just up there. I'll zoom in. That's my food hung off that tree. I was pretty happy I got it hung over there on the second try. And just tied up to here. So it's not super far from my tent, but I actually cooked and ate a couple of miles ago. So yeah, so I don't need to worry too much about the scent. Plus, everyone else around here is cooking basically in their tent. So I'm hoping I'm far enough away, and if a bear comes, it'll go to them, because apparently they don't practice any sort of bear etiquette. But I've had bears very close to my tent over the years, and don't want to have any risk of having that happen again. So they're going to be the bait for me, which is great. Hi, just a quick video because I just looked and I am at 3,000 meters elevation, or 3,111 to be exact, and it's going to be at 0 overnight, so I'm pretty rugged up. in the tent by myself. Got all of my clothes on, other than my sun hoodie that I hike in. Shining the torch in my face, that's why I'm squinting a bit because it's pitch black. But yeah, so I think a lot of the hike now is over 3,000 meters elevation. I think we started at about 2,000 this morning. There's a lot of up and down, and the last 10 kilometers, I think I only did 18 miles, so that's about 30 kilometers, 32 I think, something like that. It was pretty hard, I was getting pretty tired. I stopped, I think I did a video, where I cooked. I was starting to get a bit cooler there, but yeah, it's over 3,000 meters, definitely felt the elevation, I think. Hopefully I'll adapt really fast, because in about 4 or 5 days we'll go up Mount Whitney, assuming the weather is good. Looks like it's still good. The low temperatures are about 0 degrees overnight, every night, at this elevation, so I don't think it gets that much higher where I'll actually be camping. Whitney's just a up and down in the day type thing, and I think the camping there is at about 3,300 meters, so hopefully it won't be much colder than this. Anyway, alright, good night, see you tomorrow. Good morning. I slept warm enough last night, but maybe like probably half of the sleeps I have, my neck gets sore from the pillow. So I discovered Tylenol PM, which really helps, but I forgot to renew my stash of it in my pack before this 8-day section, so I was pretty much up all night, which is annoying. It wasn't that cold. I think it only got down to 10 degrees or something, maybe even 5, but I was toasty enough. I thought I'd show you a little bit of the forest. This is my water source. It looks fantastic, doesn't it? It's very murky and green, but it's the only water source for, I don't know, another 10 miles or something. But otherwise, it's a very nice forest this morning. Very pretty. It's all downhill to this water source, and then I believe it's all uphill for the rest of the day. So I'm down to that much water. So I'm going to top up my water here and then keep walking. Just sort of come from up in here where the water was and noticed this really lovely field. Surrounded by pretty cool rock formations. So I thought I would share. So it's not Whitney.
Now, off to its left, it's kind of hard to see just down the
Just having a quick look at the horizon.
13,500.
Just videoing a crazy little salt lake off in the distance there.
I